that's what I would want somebody to do for my day or for me, is to, instill some positivity, some energy.
I think the future for y'all is just as bright as you want it to be.
KMF brand, keep moving forward. Don't give up. Don't give in to your dreams. Just keep moving. That needed to be on a national scale.
Thank you for joining us on our Family First Life Tri-State Serve the People podcast. We appreciate you tuning in, spending your time to develop and grow with us. Follow us, please, on all our social media platforms at Family First Life Tri-State or FFL Tri-State. We love you. Keep listening, and I hope this information is serving you across the country.
All right, everybody. Thank you for jumping on with us for our Your Story podcast. I got my man GB, KMF Network. These guys are crushing it. Gabriel Brown. Man, I appreciate you, Gabriel, for all of your joy. You have such a gregarious personality, always smiling, always positive. I love what you're doing in the community with the kids. Y'all got the chip. But I wanted to get you on Your Story podcast because, number one, this is my favorite podcast. I learned more about you in 20 minutes than I learned about you spending 4 hours with you, because of the way we do it and the way we bring the past to the present. And I just, I think, our audience will learn a lot from a guy like you, as introspective as you are. So I thank you for jumping on with me, man. But before we get into anything, how's the day, my guy?
Man, it's a great day for a great day. I say that every day because it's exactly that.
Day for a great day.
Great day for a great day, my man. I'm doing wonderful. Once again, God is good, man. He continually outdoes himself in our lives, and man, it's just we're having a blast in this thing called life.
Amen.
At the end of the day, like we're just my wife and I, my kids, and it's just we're just having a lot of fun, and we're just allowing days go as they go, and embracing this process and keeping it moving forward.
I love it, dude. I love it. All right, man. If you could walk us down a path that has contributed over the years of the man you are today, we'd be very blessed by that.
I appreciate that. All right. So I was born in a small city called New Kensington, Pennsylvania. Shout out to all my NKP people. Good people out there, man. Hardworking people. Just humble people. And they work hard. And fun fact, I'm a lover of chicken wings, and this is the reason why. I hope you're ready for this. In 8 months, this is actually documented in my baby book. In 8 months, I had my very first chicken wing. I fell in love with them ever since. And
this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
the chicken wing helped contribute to the man you are today. I love it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I got them in my refrigerator right now.
It's going somewhere. Go ahead, brother.
I figured I'd throw that curveball at you real quick. I think you wasn't ready for that. but I grew up. I have a half brother, and I have a sister and a younger brother, and grew up with both parents, which is an absolute blessing. My parents are about to go into their 46th year anniversary. And a lot of my values and love for people comes from them. My mom taught me a long time ago to treat people like you want to be treated, right? And that's all I do. So you talked about the smile and the positivity. It's strictly because that's what I would want somebody to do for my day or for me, is to, instill some positivity, some energy, a little bit of laughter, if you will. I love to laugh. And so that's kind of just been, the philosophy. I smile a lot because of my grandmother, right? My grandmother, man, she got real sick at the age, like in her mid 50s, had congestive heart failure and lupus and AFib, and just dealing with a lot of things when I was growing up. And but I tell you what, every single day that I saw her, she always had a smile on her face, and
Mm.
she never, ever, ever showed you that she was in pain. She was always smiling, always trying to instill a good word into somebody, trying to give somebody a positive, positive something just to make their day feel better. And the way that I am has a lot to do with my mom, my dad, and my grandmother. I smile a lot because I know my grandmother does. I appreciate a lot because my parents they instilled that in me a long time ago. What you appreciate appreciates, right? So I live with the attitude of gratitude every single day because I know that I'm blessed. There's no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. And I'm not even talking about specifically materialistic things, and that's what people usually think, but I'm talking about just being able to, like, think about this. I don't know if you ever thought about this, Mark. Our bodies are doing so many things, like literally right now, as you and I are interacting. Could you imagine if you had to
That's a scary
uh,
thought.
think about breathing? Could you imagine if you had to think about your heart pumping every single day? Could you imagine that?
No.
Like actually having to tell yourself, "All right, I got to breathe." No, it's done it's done voluntarily. I'm
I
thankful
tell
for
myself a
things as
lot I gotta
simple as
breathe.
that. Right.
Breathe, dog.
Like
Breathe.
I'm thankful for stuff like that. Like, in addition to all the other blessings that come, but just the little things that we don't even think about that happen on a daily basis. I mean, just to be, to have been born in this country alone. There's a lot of gratitude that's in me. And I just try to, I that's the reason why I laugh and smile and everything, because I'm grateful for the life that I've been given.
Mm.
Quite simple. Growing up, my parents were both college educated. My mom was a teacher for 34 years.
Mm.
My dad worked in a steel mill, hardworking man. I mean, one week he would work 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The next week he would work 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. The week after that, he'd work 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. And that
Mm.
was a swing shift that happened week in and week out. And the sacrifice that he made for myself and my brothers and sister, I appreciate that. Like that goes a long way, and I think that's the reason why I go so hard for my team and do things. My team. I mean, my family and my business partners. They're all part of the team. And I believe I go hard for them because I saw what my dad and what my mom did and how they went hard for us. And I appreciate that. I truly
Mm.
did. Now, I did not want to go and work in a steel mill. I can tell you that.
Huh.
I got a story. I got a story for you, man.
Mm.
Listen, I'll never forget. And we talk about how things and events like kind of shape and mold you. I shared this story at our team's giving earlier this week. I remember I was in eighth grade, and I was so excited because we were going on a field trip to where my dad worked. And I was like, yes. I was like, I've never been there. I said, I just know he goes and he comes back. That's all I know. Right. So, bro, I get there and I'm like, this is the most hot, miserable place I have ever been to in my entire life. How in the world does he do this every single day? I was like, I can't do it. And it was at that point I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. I knew I would be doing something different, but I knew it wasn't going to be that. And that shaped me, man. Like I was like, I'll never, ever, ever, ever do that. And I appreciate my dad for doing that because I'm sure that's not what he wanted to do. He was a music education graduate. So
Mm.
imagine that he went to school for music education, what he loved, and ended up in a steel mill. I didn't want that either. You know, he had dreams and goals, and he sacrificed those dreams and goals for his kids. And because food needed to be put on the table,
Yes, sir.
we needed a place to live. You know, so I look at that part of my life as well, and I'm like, man, you know, I believe that that is one of the things that put me in this type of arena where there is unlimited potential, where I didn't want to be limited to the, you know, based off of, you know, a schedule that somebody dictated to me
Mm-hmm.
on whether I could see my family or not,
Mm.
missing baseball and football and basketball games and cheerleading and all that. No, that's not my bag, man. I'm family oriented. You know,
Mm.
I want to be present, if you will, with
Mm.
my kids. And my dad was, and he did everything he could to make it work, but sometimes it was out of his control.
Mm.
And if I could say anything, I wanted that control, you know,
So,
control of my life, control of my schedule, you know, control to do what we wanted to do as a family. And we didn't have to look and talk to a supervisor. The only supervisor I talked to is my wife. She's the supervisor. But we didn't have to talk to, you know, any type of supervisor who didn't really care about our family and you know, to say, hey, you got to fill the schedule. So um, I'm grateful for his sacrifice. And it pushes me to, and he knows this, man, it pushes me to do even that much more for my family.
mm. I love it. And now, when you think about, all those things that kind of reared you, and you could still see it in you, all of that's very evident on you today. Um, and now, some of the things that, as you said, you want to take back control and do some of the things that you're doing today. How did you start getting involved in the life insurance business? And then how did you find Family First Life?
Great question. So I got my insurance license in 2004. I had a friend that was just about to get his license, and this was literally a month before I got married.
Mm.
Okay. We were working at a car dealership together. It was myself, my friend, and my brother, my older brother. And he said, hey, I'm thinking about getting my insurance license. What do you think? I'm thinking to myself, I don't really care for this car dealership. So let's try something new. I'm getting married, new beginnings. Let's go ahead and go for it. So I actually started in the business in 2004, and I worked for various different IMOs, the Assurance Group for a little while. I worked for National Agents Alliance for a little while, Equita Mortgage Group for a little while as well. And then I ended up finding a home with a final expense company called Lincoln Heritage. And I did that for 12 years and had some great success there. Towards the latter part of my time there, I felt some stagnation happening, and I also felt with that stagnation, I felt a sense of complacency even in myself, where like I full transparency, I could have stayed there and you know, did extremely well. We were doing extremely well there. I could have stayed there and lived happily ever after, if you will.
Mm.
But like I said, I wanted more. I thought about my dad and the sacrifices he made. I thought about my mom and the sacrifices she made, and they're both also ministers too. So they impact people, on a spiritual level, on a mental level, right? And I wanted to do that. I just didn't want to do it in the way that they did. So when I uh, was introduced to Family First Life, it was because I came over here because I was able to transform people on a national level. And in the practice company, we were only able to do that on a regional level, just a couple of states, right? And I knew that the brand that we had created, the KMF brand, keep moving forward. Don't give up. Don't give in to your dreams.
I
Just
love it.
keep moving. That needed to be on a national scale, not on a regional scale. So that's the reason why I came here, was because I knew that this brand that God put in my heart a long time ago, this brand, in the partnership with Family First Life, I felt like it was the perfect marriage for the message that God had put in my heart to get out to the hearts and minds of many, all the while serving people with insurance and assurance as well. So it's bigger than insurance for me, Mark. This is my purpose. My purpose is to help transform the hearts and minds of many. My favorite Bible verse is Romans 12:2. And I'm just going to paraphrase it, but it is, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I truly believe that when you change your mindset, you change your life. And that is what that's what I'm on a mission to do, is to help change people's mindset so that way they can ultimately change their life.
Man, makes sense. Keep moving forward. That's very poignant, very definitive, very encouraging, also serious, very life-giving. When you think about, your journey here, not a long one at FFL, and you're looking at, your ability to impact many, as you say, and you being able to reach the entire country. What are some things that you're implementing now that are giving you that reach and to help 2023 be the best year ever?
Man, let me tell you something. I've partnered up with some of the very best leaders in the industry. Okay. And the message that we have, they have bought into the message. They love the KMF message. And it's funny because I know that a lot of people, like, they gravitate to it because it's so, like you said, it's so poignant. It's like so straightforward, right? So I have partnered with some of the very best, some that do it better than I do it, to be quite honest with you. Um, and with our reach, the network that we have created in a very, very short amount of time, and the infrastructure that we've created here, partnering with some of the, like I said, the sharpest people in the industry, and then just recently opening up we got very uncomfortable here. This is the power of belief and moving forward. We got very uncomfortable early in our career and decided to invest and sign a 5-year deal for an 8,000 square feet.
You make it sound like you're an athlete. A 5-year deal. I never heard anyone talk about an office as a deal.
It's a 5-year deal because after 5 years, man, we might have to get a bigger one. You know what I mean? Never know. You never know. Like, okay. The impact that we want to make, because we have 32 cubicles in here. We have 2 floors. We have 9 offices. Let's go. We want to fill this thing. And at the end of the 5 years, my hope is that it's too small and we have to expand.
Yes, sir.
That's the hope. That's the plan, is that we're in a position that we can expand this thing moving forward, if you will. So between that and you guys know I'm very charismatic and I love to have fun, but I really hadn't really done too much on social media, and now I'm starting to really take full advantage of that, the gifts that God has given me, if you will, to make people laugh and just transfer that positive energy to people. You will see me on YouTube and Facebook, TikTok, all Let's that go. Here. Get ready. Something like you've never seen before. That's all I know, man. Just, you never know what's going to come out of my mouth, man. You just never know.
Yeah, but you have so much knowledge in there to share. Your heart is 100% for people.
Yes.
You guys are, I mean, I don't even know if you know how real this can get for you and the KMF network. I'm hearing what you're saying, but I think the multiplier on that is I'm seeing a much bigger multiplier and a lot faster too. So I can't thank you enough, my guy, for sharing your story or bits and pieces of it with us. And I'm so blessed to be in business with you and to call you partner and friend. But I think the future for y'all is just as bright as you want it to be. So I'm happy that you're going to get out there, because I think people need to hear your message, and I think you're going to attract, your kind of people. So thank you, brother, for sharing your story with us.
Man, thank you for having me once again, my man. As always, it's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
GB, KMF. Keep it moving, brother. Keep moving forward. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. God bless y'all. Keep
yes,
listening.
sir.